The punch landed square on Tommy's jaw, sending the 15-year-old sprawling across the high school locker room floor. Blood trickled from his split lip as the group of seniors laughed, one of them sneering, "Faggot thinks he can hide behind his books." In that moment, Keegan, Tommy's older brother and the school's former star quarterback now home from college for the weekend, burst through the door and saw red. Without a second thought, he tackled the ringleader, his fists flying in a blur of protective rage. Keegan had always been the family's golden boy. Straight-A student, football hero. The one who made their conservative parents in suburban Chicago beam with pride. But as he stood over the bully, panting and wiping sweat from his brow, the words tumbled out unbidden in front of the crowd of shocked students. "Back off my brother, you assholes. And yeah, if you're calling him gay, then call me that too, because I am, and I'm proud of it." The room fell silent, phones already recording, and by nightfall, the video had gone viral across social media, ripping through their tight-knit community like wildfire. What Keegan didn't know was that this impulsive declaration, meant to shield Tommy from the torment he'd endured in silence for months, would unravel everything. Their father, a stern evangelical pastor at the local church, saw the clip first during dinner prep. He froze, phone in hand, his face draining of color before twisting into fury. "This can't be," he muttered, slamming the device down. Their mother, ever the peacemaker but bound by her own rigid beliefs, burst into tears. By the time Keegan and Tommy got home, the house was a powder keg. "How could you do this to us?" their father bellowed, veins bulging in his neck. "You've shamed this family." Keegan tried to explain it was to protect Tommy, who had confided in him weeks ago about his own confusion over his sexuality. But the words fell on deaf ears. "You're both sinners," their father declared, ordering them to pack and leave. "I won't have this under my roof." Tommy, wide-eyed and trembling, clung to Keegan as they grabbed what they could. Friends from church turned away. Even Keegan's college buddies distanced themselves with awkward texts. That night, huddled in a cheap motel on the outskirts of town, Keegan stared at the ceiling, the weight of his choice crashing down. Had he saved Tommy, or doomed them both? As days turned to weeks, Keegan scrambled to rebuild. He dropped out of his engineering program at Northwestern, unable to afford tuition without parental support. They'd cut him off completely. Tommy, too young to fend for himself, became Keegan's responsibility. They moved into a cramped apartment in the city, Keegan taking a job as a barista at a downtown coffee shop to make ends meet. The viral video haunted him. Job interviews dried up when employers Googled his name. Whispers followed him everywhere. "That's the guy who came out in that fight video." It was at the coffee shop where Keegan first met Jordan. Tall, with tousled dark hair and a quiet confidence, Jordan was a regular. A law student at the University of Chicago, always ordering black coffee with a side of intense focus on his laptop. One rainy afternoon, as Keegan handed over the cup, their fingers brushed, and Jordan looked up with a smile that cut through the gloom. "Rough day?" he asked, noticing Keegan's weary eyes. Keegan shrugged it off, but something in Jordan's gaze lingered, sparking a connection neither expected. Their conversations started small. Debates over the best Chicago deep dish pizza, shared laughs about campus life. Jordan was openly gay, having come out in high school with supportive parents who were both professors. He didn't push, but he sensed Keegan's guardedness. "You seem like you've got a story," Jordan said one evening as the shop closed. Keegan hesitated, then poured it out, the fight, the coming out, the fallout. Jordan listened without judgment, his hand resting gently on Keegan's arm. "That took guts," he said softly. "Most people hide forever." But as their bond deepened, so did the conflicts. Keegan's internalized shame from years of religious upbringing clawed at him. Was loving Jordan a betrayal of his faith, even if he'd abandoned the church? Tommy, adjusting to a new school, faced his own bullies, and Keegan wondered if his public stand had made things worse. One night, after a heated argument with Tommy over skipping class, Keegan broke down. "I did this for you," he whispered. Tommy hugged him fiercely. "I know, bro. But now we gotta live it." Jordan invited Keegan to a campus LGBTQ support group, but Keegan resisted. "I'm not ready for labels," he said, pulling away. Yet the pull toward Jordan was undeniable. Their first kiss happened under the city lights, tentative and electric, but afterward, Keegan panicked, fleeing into the night. The next day, he avoided the shop, calling in sick. Jordan showed up at his apartment, concern etched on his face. "Don't shut me out," he pleaded. "We're in this together now." Little did Keegan know the real storm was brewing. His father, regretting his haste but too proud to admit it, had started a quiet campaign through church networks to save Tommy, contacting social services anonymously, claiming Keegan was an unfit guardian due to his lifestyle. The letter arrived like a bomb. A custody hearing scheduled in 2 weeks. Keegan's world tilted again. How could he fight this without money or allies? The courtroom in downtown Chicago felt like a pressure cooker, the air thick with judgment as Keegan sat rigid in his ill-fitting suit borrowed from a thrift store. Tommy fidgeted beside him, eyes darting to their parents across the aisle. Their mother's face a mask of sorrow, their father's stern and unyielding. The judge, an older woman with sharp eyes, banged the gavel, and the hearing began, each testimony peeling away layers of Keegan's fragile new life. Their father's lawyer painted Keegan as unstable. A college dropout, low-wage worker, and now openly gay in a way that exposed Tommy to immorality. This young man chose to broadcast his deviance online, the lawyer intoned, playing the viral video on a screen. Gasps rippled through the room. Keegan's public defender, overworked and underprepared, countered weakly with character references from the coffee shop manager. But it wasn't enough. Jordan, sitting in the back row, clenched his fists, wishing he could testify. But Keegan had begged him not to, fearing it would make things worse. In a moment of desperation on the stand, Keegan spoke from the heart. "I came out to protect my brother from the hate I hid from for years. Our family taught us love, but only on their terms. Tommy needs me. He's thriving now, away from the judgment." The judge nodded thoughtfully, but adjourned without a decision, leaving them in limbo. Outside, their father approached, voice low. "This isn't what I wanted, son. Come home, repent, and we'll fix this." Keegan shook his head, anger bubbling. "Fix what? Who I am?" The strain spilled into his budding relationship with Jordan. That night, over takeout in the apartment, Jordan pushed for more commitment. "Let me help you fight this. My parents know lawyers." But Keegan snapped, "I don't need charity. This is my mess." Hurt flashed in Jordan's eyes. He left quietly, the door clicking shut like a finality. Alone, Keegan wrestled with doubt. Was opening his heart worth the risk of more loss? Tommy, sensing the rift, confronted Keegan the next morning. "You like him, don't you? Jordan's cool. Don't push him away like Dad pushed us." The words stung, forcing Keegan to confront his fears. He texted Jordan an apology, and they met at a quiet park bench overlooking Lake Michigan. "I'm scared," Keegan admitted, voice breaking. "Everyone I love gets hurt because of me." Jordan took his hand. "Then let me share the hurt. That's what this is." As they rebuilt trust, societal pressures mounted. At work, a customer recognized Keegan from the video and refused service, muttering slurs. The manager, sympathetic but pragmatic, cut his hours. Bills piled up, and Keegan considered desperate measures, like reaching out to estranged relatives. Meanwhile, Tommy joined a school GSA club, finding friends who understood, but it highlighted Keegan's isolation. "Why can't we just be normal?" Tommy asked one evening, tears in his eyes. The custody decision came via mail. Temporary guardianship to Keegan, with supervised visits for parents. Relief washed over him, but it was bittersweet. Their mother called, sobbing, "We miss you both." Their father remained silent. Emboldened, Keegan attended his first support group with Jordan, sharing his story amid nods of solidarity. Yet, whispers of betrayal lingered. A church friend leaked that their father was fundraising for conversion therapy programs, targeting families like theirs. Jordan's own conflicts emerged. His progressive family welcomed Keegan, but Jordan confessed his hesitation about public affection, shaped by a past assault in college. "I want to be brave like you," he said during a late-night walk. Their intimacy grew through shared vulnerabilities, long talks about dreams deferred, hands intertwined in private moments. But a jealous ex of Jordan's surfaced, posting online rumors that Keegan was using him for money, reigniting the viral storm. Keegan confronted the ex at a campus event, words sharp. "Stay out of our lives." The encounter escalated into a shouting match, drawing attention. Jordan pulled him away, frustrated. "You can't fight every battle." That night, they argued fiercely, Keegan accusing Jordan of not understanding his struggles, Jordan retorting that Keegan's impulsiveness endangered them both. In the heat, Jordan stormed out, leaving Keegan to question if love was just another thing he'd lose. Reconciliation came slowly. Jordan returned with coffee, echoing their first meeting. "We're flawed, but we're real." They decided to face challenges together, starting with therapy for Keegan to unpack his trauma. Tommy, overhearing, smiled for the first structure time in weeks. But as stability beckoned, a new threat loomed. Their father's church planned a rally against LGBTQ indoctrination in schools, naming Tommy's situation anonymously. Keegan had to choose, ignore it or confront the man who raised him. The rally unfolded under the harsh lights of the community center, banners waving with slogans like, "Protect our children," as their father took the podium, his voice booming through the microphone. "We've seen families torn apart by this agenda," he preached, eyes scanning the crowd without landing on Keegan, who stood at the back, heart pounding. Tommy had begged to stay home, but Keegan came alone, driven by a mix of rage and unresolved longing for reconciliation. As the speech veered into personal territory, veiled references to a son led astray, Keegan's blood boiled. He stepped forward during Q&A, microphone in hand. "What if that son was protecting his brother from the very hate you're spreading?" The room hushed. Their father paled, recognizing the voice. "Keegan," he said stiffly, "this isn't the place." But Keegan pressed on. "It is. You threw us out for being who we are. Is that God's love?" The confrontation went viral again, this time splitting opinions. Supporters messaged Keegan with encouragement. Detractors flooded his inbox with threats. Jordan, watching from afar, rushed to his side post rally. "That was reckless," he said, but pride shone in his eyes. They drove home in silence, the air charged with unspoken fears. Later, in bed, Jordan whispered, "I'm all in, but we need boundaries." Keegan nodded, realizing love required compromise. Back at the apartment, Tommy awaited with news. He'd been invited to speak at a youth advocacy event. "Because of you," he said, hugging Keegan. Pride swelled, but so did worry, exposing Tommy more could invite backlash. Their mother secretly texted Keegan, "I'm proud of your courage. Dad's struggling." It cracked open a door, but trust was shattered. Work tensions escalated when Keegan's reduced hours turned to termination. The owner cited customer complaints tied to the videos. Jobless, he applied everywhere, facing rejection after rejection. Jordan offered to cover rent, but Keegan refused, taking gig work driving for Uber. Exhaustion set in, straining their relationship. One night, after a long shift, Keegan found Jordan packing. "I can't watch you destroy yourself," Jordan said. "Let me help." The argument peeled back layers. Keegan's pride rooted in proving he wasn't a burden, Jordan's insistence from fear of losing him. They reached a truce. Keegan accepted a loan, vowing repayment. In return, Jordan opened up about his own family pressures. His parents, while supportive, pushed for a stable partner, subtly questioning Keegan's background. They think you're great, but Jordan trailed off. It stung, highlighting class divides, Jordan from academia, Keegan from blue-collar roots. Societal mouth-wan deepened as Chicago's Pride Month approached. Jordan wanted to march together. Keegan hesitated, flashbacks to the rally haunting him. Tommy encouraged him. Show them we're not afraid. Ultimately, Keegan agreed, but the day brought chaos. A counter-protester shoved Jordan, sparking a scuffle. Keegan intervened, echoes of the locker room fight. Bruised but unbroken, they retreated, bonding over the ordeal. Therapy sessions revealed Keegan's deep-seated guilt. Had his coming out selfishly upended Tommy's life? The therapist challenged him. Protection isn't possession. Let him grow. Inspired, Keegan supported Tommy's event speech, where the teen shared his story eloquently. Applause rang out, but afterward, a reporter approached Keegan for an interview. He declined, wary of more exposure. Their father's silence broke with a letter. I've been wrong. Let's talk. Skeptical, Keegan met him at a neutral cafe. Tears flowed as regrets poured out. The pastor admitted counseling had opened his eyes to his hypocrisy. I feared losing my flock more than my sons. Forgiveness hovered, but Keegan set terms. Acceptance without conditions. Their father agreed tentatively, promising change. Jordan celebrated the breakthrough, but jealousy flickered. Keegan's focus on family left little room for them. During a romantic dinner, Jordan confessed, I feel like a side character in your story. Keegan reassured him with a kiss, vowing balance. Yet, as harmony seemed possible, a betrayal struck. A church insider revealed their father had only reached out under pressure from declining donations, not genuine remorse. Heartbroken, Keegan cut contact again, the cycle of pain renewing. Betrayal's sting propelled Keegan into isolation, withdrawing from Jordan and Tommy as he processed the deception. Mornings blurred into nights of sleepless doubt. Was true change possible in a world stacked against them? Jordan, patient but frayed, gave space, focusing on his bar exam prep. Tommy noticed first, confronting Keegan over breakfast. Don't shut down. We need you. Spurred by Tommy's words, Keegan sought solace in activism, volunteering at an LGBTQ center. There, he met others with similar stories, disowned youth rebuilding lives. It reignited purpose, but highlighted his own unresolved wounds. Jordan joined him one weekend, their hands brushing during a workshop, rekindling sparks. I've missed this, Jordan admitted. They recommitted, planning a weekend getaway to Michigan's dunes for respite. The trip was a turning point. Walks on the beach, honest talks under stars. Keegan opened about his moral quandaries, balancing self-acceptance with lingering faith. Jordan shared his ethical dilemmas in law, defending marginalized clients. Intimacy deepened without rush, built on trust. But reality intruded via a call. Their mother, defying their father, wanted to visit Tommy. The reunion was tense, held at a park. Tears and apologies flowed. She admitted enabling the toxicity. I should have fought for you both. Tommy forgave easily, but Keegan held back, demanding proof of change. She promised to attend therapy with their father. It was a fragile bridge, but one Keegan crossed cautiously. Back in Chicago, job prospects improved. A center contact hooked Keegan up with a tech startup needing coders, valuing his partial degree. Stability returned, allowing him to repay Jordan. Their relationship flourished. Shared dinners, movie nights, navigating coupledom amid chaos. Yet, societal prejudice persisted. A landlord evicted them citing noise complaints, code for homophobia. They moved to a friendlier neighborhood, but the incident fueled Keegan's anger. Tommy faced his own crossroads. A crush on a classmate led to his first date, confiding in Keegan. What if it goes wrong? Keegan advised, be true to yourself, the rest follows. Watching Tommy bloom, Keegan reflected on his sacrifice's worth. Jordan proposed cohabitation officially, a step toward permanence. Keegan agreed, but anxiety gnawed. Commitment meant vulnerability. Family dynamics shifted when their father attended a PFLAG meeting, surprising everyone. He approached Keegan afterward, humbled. "I'm learning. Give me time." Skepticism lingered, but Keegan allowed supervised visits with Tommy. Progress was slow, marked by awkward conversations about scripture and love. A major conflict arose when Jordan's firm offered him a position in D.C. Better pay, but relocation. "Come with me," he urged. Keegan balked. Uprooting Tommy mid-school year? The debate turned heated, exposing fears of abandonment. "You're choosing career over us," Keegan accused. Jordan countered, "It's for our future." Tommy weighed in. "I'll be okay here with support. Don't hold back because of me." The decision weighed heavy, moral lines blurring. Keegan chose to stay initially, testing long distance. Heartache ensued. Missed calls, lonely nights. Jordan visited, but distance amplified insecurities. A misunderstanding, Jordan seen with a colleague, sparked jealousy. Keegan flew to D.C., confronting him. "Is this the end?" Jordan reassured. "No, but we need to decide." Ultimately, Keegan relocated, enrolling Tommy in a new school with family nearby. The move symbolized letting go, trusting their parents' evolution. Settling in D.C., challenges persisted. Higher costs, new prejudices. But together they thrived, Jordan acing cases, Keegan advancing in tech. Yet, a final twist. Their father, facing church backlash for his shift, resigned his position. He moved closer, seeking redemption. Keegan grappled with forgiveness. Was it deserved? In a family dinner, truths emerged, healing beginning. DC's bustling streets became their new battleground, where Keegan and Jordan navigated professional worlds clashing with personal ones. Keegan's startup role demanded long hours, coding algorithms for social good apps, ironically helping LGBTQ youth connect. Jordan dove into civil rights law, defending cases mirroring their struggles. Tommy adapted quickly, excelling in school and joining debate club, debating topics like equality that hit home. But old wounds reopened when a high-profile case landed on Jordan's desk, suing a religious organization for discrimination. It echoed their father's church, stirring Keegan's ethical turmoil. What if it's him? Keegan worried. Jordan reassured, "It's about justice, not revenge." The case intensified, media spotlighting Jordan and, by extension, Keegan. Protesters picketed the firm, chanting slurs that transported Keegan back to Chicago. Family visits added layers. Their parents arrived for Thanksgiving, tension thick. Their father, now in counseling, shared his journey. "I was blind to my hate." Their mother beamed at Tommy's progress. Keegan observed warily, but a breakthrough came during a walk. Father and son alone. "I regret everything," he confessed. Keegan's response, "Actions matter now." Forgiveness budded, but trust built slowly. Romantic strains surfaced as Jordan's success bred envy. Keegan felt overshadowed, confiding in Tommy, "Am I enough?" Tommy's wisdom, "You're his anchor." A surprise anniversary trip to New York reaffirmed their bond. Broadway shows, Central Park strolls. Yet, a mugging incident shook them. Targeted for being gay, it left Jordan bruised. Keegan's protective instincts flared, vowing vengeance, but Jordan calmed him. "We fight smart, not fists." Tommy's coming of age brought drama. He came out publicly at school, inspired by Keegan. Backlash ensued, bullying notes, online harassment. Keegan flew into action, meeting with administrators, channeling his pain into advocacy. Jordan provided legal advice, strengthening their team. Their parents supported, a united front for the first time. Moral dilemmas peaked when Keegan discovered a colleague hacking company data for personal gain. Reporting it meant risking his job. Silence betrayed his values. He chose integrity, leading to a promotion but strained office dynamics. Jordan praised him. "That's the man I love." As winter set in, a health scare hit, their father diagnosed with cancer. Keegan returned to Chicago temporarily, caregiving amid reconciliation. Jordan joined weekends, bridging gaps. The illness forced reflections. Life's fragility, love's endurance. Their father apologized profoundly. I wasted years on pride. Healing rippled. Tommy bonded with grandparents. Keegan and Jordan planned a commitment ceremony. But society pushed back. A bill threatening LGBTQ rights loomed in Congress. They lobbied, voices among many, facing defeat but gaining allies. Personal betrayals tested limits. A friend outed Tommy's details online, forcing privacy measures. Keegan traced it to a jealous rival, confronting them ethically. Resolution came through dialogue, not destruction. With spring, growth bloomed. Keegan proposed to Jordan atop the Washington Monument, ring in hand. Through everything, you're my choice. Tears and yes followed. Wedding planning intertwined with advocacy, symbolizing resilience. The wedding day dawned bright in a DC garden, surrounded by blended family and friends. Their parents beaming, Tommy as best man. Vows exchanged amid tears. Keegan promising unwavering support, Jordan vowing eternal partnership. The reception buzzed with joy, dances under string lights marking a hard-won victory. But beneath, undercurrents of past pain lingered, a reminder that happiness was earned. Post-honeymoon, life normalized. Keegan leading app development for queer youth, Jordan winning landmark cases. Tommy graduated high school, heading to college with scholarships. Their parents, fully reconciled, visited often, their father now advocating for inclusive faith communities. Yet, challenges persisted. A workplace discrimination suit against Keegan's company tested loyalties. He testified, risking promotion but upholding morals. Jordan faced burnout, questioning his path. They supported each other, therapy a constant anchor. Societal shifts brought hope. Laws evolving, acceptance growing. But personal reflections deepened. Keegan pondered his initial choices' ripple effects. Had protection justified the chaos? In quiet moments, they debated ethics. Forgiveness versus boundaries, activism versus survival. Tommy, now confident, challenged them. We change the world by living truthfully. Years later, at a family gathering, Keegan looked around. Love prevailing despite scars. The journey's cost. Lost innocence. Fractured bonds mended unevenly. But gains. Authenticity. Profound connections. Was coming out to shield a loved one the ultimate act of heroism, or a reckless gamble that demanded too high a price?